Good morning. So I just finished running 30 T4 Simulacrums just now, and I wanted to do a quick video going over my thoughts, deep psychological trauma experiences, and maybe share a few tips here and there for improving your ability to successfully complete Simulacrum as well. But mainly I wanted to showcase how profitable it actually was to farm the pinnacle encounter of this delirium mechanic, mind-numbing 30 times here. All of these runs were done here on my stream, so if you want to watch future instances of me torturing myself with these kind of farming marathons while slowly losing even the last remnants of my mind, leave a follow either here or on my Twitch. I do daily streams on both platforms every day. So first off, I wanted to start by going over a few things about Simulacrum itself, and I'm going to start by stating the probably obvious to most of you by now. Yes, Simulacrum, especially T4, is hard. So I have a very optimized build right here, which I have now spent probably north of 500 divines on, which, because of the cast on shock comet setup, is especially good at Simulacrum, and I still managed to die 2 times during these 30 runs, with additionally having quite a few close calls as well. I just cannot imagine running this efficiently without this setup that I'm running currently, and especially not with the Melting Maelstrom mana flask here. Without it, I would have probably died about 50% of all the runs. I still wanted to share a few tips that might make any tier of Simulacrum a little bit easier for you. So I'm going to start off by a general tip. So as I mentioned earlier now, my character here is pretty optimized to doing Simulacrum. I am going with a cast on shock comet. These comets have spell echo and magnified effect. So basically, once a comet procs, once rare spawns or the unique bosses spawn, basically 60 comets are falling down on their face and everything on the map is just clear. So my first tip is obviously, if you are doing this, try to optimize your character to especially doing this. Either by going into a complete, like a build setup that is good for Simulacrum, or changing up some stuff on your support gems. Maybe remove rarity from your gear in order to get more and better stat lines. So yeah, like an option for me here as well, I've seen people use, for example, like support gem shock siphon here, or they go for electrocution to stun everything. So yeah, my main general tip is optimize your character to actually doing this. Simulacrum is super hard. There is gonna be an optimization to the character needed. You cannot just go in there and expect everything to just fall over by just looking at it. So that is the general tip. Tip number 2 is do it as 2. So when you're doing it alone, you die, you're dead, it's done. You're gone. When you are actually doing it as 2, or even more, I would advise doing it as 2 though. When you die and the other person is still alive, you can immediately rejoin. So that is a big step up, especially for the lower levels when you're just starting out and just trying to get the points. Do it as more than 1. The rejoining is a huge factor. You can just come back in and just continue. My next tip is going to be the Omen of Resurgence here. So these Omen of Refreshment and Resurgence you can use to, when you go low or when you are close to dying, you are back to full life. So use these omens maybe. So here, Omen of Resurgence, Omen of Refreshment. I did an oopsie there. No, I mean Omen of Resurgence. So use the Omen of Resurgence. These are like, I don't know, like 10 exalted or something. Yeah, it is definitely worth. These can save your life, obviously. So yeah, use them in Simulacrum. This is what they're for, in my opinion. So yeah, use them. Next tip is going to be stun and freeze threshold. So I'm a chaos inoculation user. I can get stunned and frozen very easily. I am wearing a dream fragments, so I cannot get frozen anymore. Stun can still be a problem. I'm using a stun charm. What that does not help you with the first stun you actually get. So get stun threshold. For me, it is on my jewels a little bit. So increase stun threshold on the jewels. So get stun and freeze threshold any way you can. this will help you as well. You will get stun locked, you will get frozen by the mobs, and then it's basically just over. So tip number 4 is for all lightning users. I'm not using it right now, but I have been using it earlier, and it is definitely a good tip. Use Kitokos. Like I said before, optimize your character, and using Kitokos to stun the mobs can be a very good help. The last step is going to be stay on the move. Be aware. This is not like mind-numbing and just brain AFK farming. You will have to stay on the move. You will have to dodge maybe a little bit, have to get out of the way from some monsters from time to time. And also when the bosses spawn, move away from the bosses. That can also be a tip for that. So that's it for the tips I have picked up during my time doing this. But I will emphasize again, Simulacrum is hard. One of the most common questions I got on my stream during these runs was, I have X amount of DPS, will I be able to clear Simulacrum? And my answer basically always was that there is just no certain amount of DPS or stat line that will guarantee success here. Even if your character is highly optimized for this, you can still get bullied into a corner by a bunch of high school football players like that one time back in 2007. Yeah, so on that note, let's go over to the Chess Club nerd section of me throwing a bunch of numbers at your head and summing up the profitability of these 30 mind-numbing runs. Okay, so like I said, we did a total of 30 runs here at an average price of 90 exalted per Simulacrum key. We spent a total of 2,700 exalted on all the keys. I'm gonna go over everything we got back on just the emotions first. So we dropped 1,414 ire, 492 guilt, 338 greed, 136 paranoia, 71 envy, 32 disgust, 17 despair, 12 fear, 6 suffering, and 4 isolation. All in all, we got a very, very funny amount of 2,699 exalted back on these emotions. I didn't sell them yet. I tallied everything up at the current market value at Alva. So yeah, we spent 2,700x on all the keys, on the 30 keys, and we got a very funny amount of 2,699 exalted back on just the emotions. So we went even on just the emotions. So right away, I would definitely say this is definitely some kind of profitable, but everything else here relies on luck. Definitely. Like every other mechanic in the game, like most mechanics in the game, it is going to be down to RNG. So I am not including all the raw drops we got here, but I will mention it as well. We dropped 4 divines during the runs. We also dropped 5 uncut skill gems level 20. I also dropped a level 20 spirit gem, which I already sold. I also dropped a perfect jeweler's orb. So yeah, I'm just mentioning those, but I will not include them in like the tally here because it doesn't really make sense. Because yeah, everything you do in the game, you will get a certain raw drop. So we went even on just the emotions here. Another factor I will mention is due to the Simulacrum being all monster level 82 plus, we got all these bases here as well. This is not even close to all. I kind of stopped picking most of them up at a certain point. So yeah, this is also an extremely good source of getting high tier bases here. So yeah, this is definitely another factor where you can make a bunch of money here, because obviously you can gamble, craft all of those. And yeah, definitely another factor why this is profitable in my opinion. So the big ticket items though, in 30 runs, we dropped 4 megalomaniacs, insanely, I have to say, and just 1 melting maelstrom flask. The current price for a melting maelstrom flask, it has dropped a bunch. So melting maelstrom flask is down to 6 divine here. So yeah, already this is going to be then 6 divine profit. Usually I would have kind of expected at 30 runs, I would have at least expected 2, I guess. But yeah, we were very lucky on the megalomaniacs here. Most of them kind of went a little bit meh. So we have here lingering whispers and stacking toxic, basically nothing. We have critical exploit and remorseless. That is like kind of fine. Critical exploit is usable. You can definitely get maybe like 150 exalted, maybe even a divine for it. Then we have a very cool one here, because this has raw mana and electric amplification. Isn't really worth anything. Like I checked a little bit a while ago, and also I checked it when we first dropped it. But for me, I kind of thought it was kind of cool, and I'm gonna try to implement it here, because it is actually two things that I could be using here. So raw mana and electric amplification. So that is really nice. Raw mana and electric amplification here. But the big ticket one was this one right here. So this has pure power. So everyone that is using a lightning character, or mainly Lightning Stormweaver here, will know pure power is probably one of the most important nodes on our passive tree here. So yeah, pure power was the one we got here, and this is, depending on how important the other one, which is Chill to the Bone here, is going to be for some people. But yeah, this is at least 30 divine. I'm not guaranteed, of course it is not guaranteed that it sells for this price, but this was definitely the best drop we have gotten here. So I'm not gonna do like exactly like now you can expect like a certain amount of divines per run, but what I'm just gonna tell you is, just on the emotions we went even here, and everything else we got, like the raw drops, the bases, and the megalomaniacs and Maelstrom here, were basically a bonus. So you can definitely, I would say, expect to go at least even on the emotions, maybe a little bit under. Everything else will be bonus. So basically my end result is, I would say it is still good to run, even with the prices dropping. But that also means if the prices keep dropping, that will probably mean it is because the prices of the keys is dropping as well. So I do still think this is very, very good to do. Of course, it depends a little bit on how safely you can do T4. So yeah, this was basically it for me. I will go to bed now. I definitely need some rest after this. That was definitely an experience to do 30 of these on stream in one sitting. Basically, separated into 2 sittings, so I still kind of fine. But now I definitely need some rest. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy this kind of content. If you do, come back maybe. Check out the stream. I am streaming daily on Twitch and YouTube every day. So yeah, maybe come back, leave a sub or a like, whatever. You don't have to. I'm not gonna make you. Have a good one. Bye bye.